and started in kindergarten. You give your kids over to this devil and he grows them into problems for you.
Listen.
You give them over to him and he develops them into problems for the society that he can justify shooting you down, beating you down, locking you up for no reason.
That's right.
He knows that you're going to drop out of school at a certain point. Some of you. Because, number one, education has got to be like a picture. If I take a picture of you in here right now, say all of us took a group picture, and I developed the picture, who are you going to look for in the picture first?
You.
Who? I hand you the picture, who are you going to look for? You going to look for Ariane? As soon as you take the picture, let me see the picture. Oh, how do I look? Is my eye flipped open? You know how some people take pictures and they can blink. You know, they all mess up. You're like, whoa, what happened there? You're going to look for yourself.
Yes.
For education, religion, politics, all of it must be the same way, like a picture. Education is designed that you get a picture of the past. It gives you bearings on the present and a vision into the future.
Right.
Do you understand? Education is supposed to do that for you.
That's right.
Education is designed that you ultimately use the mathematics even that you get to learn how to think. I'm not giving you mathematics because one day you're going to need this calculus on your job. Unless you're going to be a accountant. We all say that. Good Lord, what do we need all this support? Ain't nobody never used it. Left out of there, never used it. Well, it's because it's designed to teach you how to think. But you already know with all of the other madness in the school that you ain't going to be interested in thinking about nothing. Do you know those brothers that you see come out who ultimately now end up in corporate America and different things? Talk to them. The average one is a sellout at a local town. Go talk to them brothers. They got education. You got a job. The reason why you got that job is because you are a non-threatening black man.
Listen. Every time.
Non-threatening.
That's right.
Huh?
Teach all that.
So ultimately now you get the job. Go talk to that brother. When you start talking to him about black issues, he's not really interested. What? Kindergarten. Right straight through high school. Dead on into college. What happened? Why did the brother end up in that mental condition? Because from kindergarten, he was made ready for them to process him into what they wanted him to become. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's his way of doing things. But if you take the picture, as I was saying, and then ultimately you don't see yourself in the picture, you find yourself not willing to continue the process of education. When you go and you study in your high school, how many black folks in there they talking about? Other than a few athletes, 1 month a year. Right or wrong? School is white people, don't you? You grew up learning about what white folks did you? You grew up learning about Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. You know all these names because that's the names they gave you, right or wrong?
That's right.
Think about what that does. Think about what that does to a black mind. That all the time, all the way through school, from kindergarten right on, all I'm learning about is what white folks done. But you all, you were good athletes. We did you a favor by bringing you over here because you were running around in the jungle and couldn't talk, and then ultimately now we had to teach and train you, right or wrong. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. We done you a service. We helped you. My son mentioned about a particular commercial where they were talking about how they are going to reopen the Bronx Zoo. And in the commercial they were playing all of this African music, you know, drums, whatever. And then the man comes up with an African accent and says, come on back. Bronx Zoo, we're going to open up again. Now, my son said, did you peep that commercial? I said, no, son, I didn't hear it. And then he explained to me, he said, look at that. He said, why would you put the African accent and the African music associated with the reopening of the Bronx Zoo when the Bronx Zoo have animals from all around the world? Right. Not just Africa. Right. Once again, you're playing your game. Pandas don't come from Africa. That's right. Tigers don't come from Africa. That's right. Kangaroos don't come from Africa. That's right. All of this is in the Bronx Zoo. Exotic monkeys, they don't come from Africa. You got an elephant, a rhinoceros, a giraffe, and a lion. That's all. All the rest of it is from other parts of the world. But the commercial, the way that they did it, and using the African music, what are you doing? You're still playing another race game. Do you understand me? So what is he doing? He's educating you again in a certain way. That Africa, all you had was animals running around, you had a grass skirt on, and you had a spear, and you had a shield. You understand? Made out of a orangutan skin. That's it. That's what they put on the television and put in your minds. That's the plan. Now let's look at politics. Same situation. How much of you is in the picture of politics? He ain't black. How much of you was in the picture of politics? I had a brother in here the other day. He's a lawyer. And we sitting around talking. And I challenged him. Why do they call it the federal government? What is a federation? Why is it called a federation? U.S. government. How did they become a federation? And what does that mean? I said to the brother, I said, look, Don Billy's mama never paid the devil taxes. You all afraid to make that stand. I said, Joffrey. I said, Lord, Joffrey. I said, excuse me. Do we have any black U.S. senators? He said, no. I said, well, according to the Constitution, taxation without representation is tyranny. Unless we have representation in the lawmaking, then you have no right to tax us. According to your Constitution, because we have no say-so in the real political process, why are we paying taxes? They take billions out of your checks every year. Jack you. Don't even ask. Like Chris Rock said. Billions per year out of your money. What do they give you back? Nothing. And they don't even have the right to do it. In fact, they never even ratified the amendment for taxation. That's why it's a federation that's putting it down on you. Them boys is, what they call them? Strong arm men. That they putting it down on you. The actual tax amendment was never ratified. Enough states needed to sign on. And they didn't. So they just began doing it anyway. And they've been taxing people for years now without really the right to do it. And they should have no right to tax black people at all. You ain't in that picture. You're not part of that picture. Y'all understand me? Y'all alright? Everybody alright? You just listen. You're not part of that picture. What right do they have to tax you? The political process, they don't see you as a part of it. That's why you have to set up the Black Caucus. What the heck does that mean? What do you need with the Black Caucus? The few congressmen that we have to come together to try and pull our resources to lobby